Hello and welcome to ShamanWeaver Spirit School. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about beliefs today. But before we do that, let's smudge, let's clear our energy. Let's bring ourselves home, bring our essence to us and be fully embodied right here, right now. Okay, so I'm going to start with smudging. So the reason that we smudge is to clear our environment or our own personal environment, right? It also does this thing. It has a smell. So any of you who've ever used sage know that, and that smell automatically calms down the reptilian brain, because that reptilian brain is back there going, what's going on? This is new. Oh, don't listen to that. Mistrust, misjudge. And so when we take a moment to just stop, get grounded and then centered, feel our feet on the floor, our sit bones, put our hands on our heart, take a breath, then we come into ourselves fully. So I'm going to, yes, just a little more smudge. All right. Okay. Now, place your hand on your heart and just draw your essence down into your body from wherever it's been so far today. And allow yourself to be open and available for all that the universe has for you, because it has a lot for you. And it all begins with beliefs. But before we get to the beliefs, I'm just going to shake things up. Because when we go to look at a foundational piece such as beliefs, it's a good idea to start by shaking things up so that you can fully accept some new concepts, fully embrace some new ideas, and fully be present to the resonance of it. So when you do something different, like smudge, like use your rattle, and your rattle can be something as simple as a jar with some coffee beans in it, shaking that totally shakes up the whole environment. It shifts the frequency. And that's what I did for a year on my ShamanWeaver Facebook, as every day I drummed to change the frequency, to absolutely uplift, and also to do it from a very cellular level. Sound, we hear about sound frequency, we hear about sound healing. Well, you can do it for yourself. You can shake up the environment. If you teach your children to go and grab the jar, the rattle jar, when they're feeling upset, it immediately shifts the whole energy. So we're going to do that right now. And then we're going to talk about beliefs. So thank you for being here. And since we think that beliefs are conjured up here, I'm going to focus the energy of rattling, the energy of breaking up that frequency in the area of the head and the neck. All right, so when you go to do something like think about something differently, in the practical world, sitting at your desk, it's really awkward to pick up your rattle and rattle all around your head, just so that you can change the vibrational frequency to open up to new patterns, to open up to new ways of thinking. So, time for tea. And always, when you go to do something, get one of your favorite beverages, because when you soothe yourself, you're taking care of your senses, you're taking care of your security. And when you want to do something that you're diving deep, like looking into your beliefs and what the heck are they and where did they come from, then it's good to have something that's comforting. And so for me, that's tea. So bring your comfort with you, because we're going to crack some ideas, some thoughts, maybe even some ways of being today. So what is a belief anyway? Well, my understanding and the way that I frame it in my courses is a belief is an idea that became a thought, that took action, that was habituated, done several times over and over and over again until it's a habit. That habit, that ingrained habit that just started as an idea over here, I don't like chicken, became a thought, oh, chickens are dirty, which became an action, not eating chickens, which was reinforced by years of not eating chicken. And then we come to this idea of like, well, is that true? But we didn't question it. We just got this flash of an idea. It became a thought. We took action on it. We repeated it over and over again until it became a habit. Now that habit is ingrained. Remember I was talking about the rattle and how if you want to get yourself unstuck from some of your beliefs, then a way to do that, a great way to do that is to change the frequency, this habituation, which becomes a belief. And then that's it. Chickens are off. Chickens are off the menu, and that's just. Maybe for some of you, that's a real thing. But I was using it as a light example. So, but other things, and we take them off the docket, off the list, off the menu. There we go. We take that off the menu. Oh, that's not for me. And I'll give you a personal example. So I like chocolate. I actually love chocolate. But I made the decision years and years and years ago that if I was loving chocolate, I would just be eating all kinds of it. So I got very specific about the kind of chocolate that I liked. And at that time, there was only Special Dark. So it was really easy to avoid all the rest of those chocolate bars. And tons of them I've never even tasted because I made a decision that milk chocolate had wax in it and that I didn't want to eat wax. And it's actually true, by the way. I didn't want to eat wax, so that therefore took that chocolate off my list, focusing then only on dark chocolate. So it avoided a whole lot of things for me. It avoided overeating sugar. So there's always a benefit to your belief. Okay? This idea, milk chocolate has too much wax. The thought is, I don't want to eat wax. The action is avoid the milk chocolate with wax. Do it over and over and over and over again. Became a habit. Now it's a belief. Now, is it true? Well, I substantiated back here when it became a thought. I looked into it and sure enough, there was wax in there. And I preferred not to have wax in my digestive system. So that became a habit. That became a belief. And so that belief got substantiated over and over because I avoided that kind of chocolate. And now I get to look at that belief. So a great way to look at your beliefs is it serving me? Does it work for me? Well, that particular belief does work for me. Now, I'll give you another belief that hasn't served me. Okay, but before I do this, so that is a belief that serves me. Now, is it so ingrained, so entrenched that I absolutely refuse? If I'm out somewhere and someone offers me a dessert that's milk chocolate, do I refuse that? Of course I don't. That might be rude. And so I don't want to be rude. So, and we'll talk about that because that's another belief, right? How we are in the world is based on our beliefs. And so if you're generous, it's because you believe that generosity is a value. If you're stingy, then it's because you believe that you need to keep more than you give away, or you need to keep more so that you feel secure. So an unhelpful belief, I'll tell you one from my dad. And my dad told me never to buy a new car. because the moment it hits the curb, its value goes down $1,000. Now, this was a long time ago, and so that was a tremendous amount of the value of the entire car. It's like 25%, boom, gone. So I not only use that as a value for automobiles, but I also use that for a value for other things. And my dad had no idea what he was setting up with that idea that became a thought. The action was I scrutinized purchasing anything new. Was it going to lose value? Was it going to enhance? Basically, was it going to lose value? And so that caused me to avoid a lot of brand new purchases that would have worked out better than the used ones that I got. But my dad had no idea that I would generalize that out. And this is one of the things that happens with our ideas that become thoughts, that become actions, that we do over and over and over again, that get entrenched and then become our beliefs. A whole lot of beliefs that are up right now in society for all of us to look at are no longer serving us. And there's an idea that you can't change that. But that's not my belief. Okay, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. So, by the way, thank you for being here and thank you for staying with me. I appreciate that. So, we build the foundation of our lives out of beliefs. And a whole lot of those beliefs came from society as we were growing up, things that you do and do not do. And there is a gender bias as well. If you are male, you do it this way. If you're female, you do it this way. And that came down from a long lineage of survival. However, we're at a choice point here. We're at a choice point about a lot of things. We're at a choice point about, do we go back to normal? And, as a personal note, normal never really suited me. And I quit my day job in August of 1997. I'm coming up on 24 years this August of being free of the chains of 9 to 5. And because I believed that my clients weren't getting the service that they deserved, I was a psychotherapist. I am a psychotherapist as one of my backgrounds. But I believed that my clients deserved better than that. I also believed that I deserved to work in a place that stood up for me. And I had found that repeatedly they didn't. So literally, I could not stand up. I went to go to work and I was bent over. And so I took that week of not being able to stand up and made a huge decision. I decided, without any foundation whatsoever, that I was going to quit my job. So the next time I went into work, I handed in my resignation. And that was almost 24 years ago. So that was based on a belief that I could do more for people, not working under the auspices of an agency, but being allowed to put my hands on them, to be able to do the shamanic work that I knew how to do, even before I knew that there was such a thing called shamanism. It came from a near-death experience. So we have a lot of beliefs about shaman. We have a lot of beliefs about near-death experiences. We have a lot of beliefs about quitting your job. And then following your bliss. Otherwise, all of us would be doing that. Can you imagine, just for a moment, just put your hand on your heart, take a breath. Can you imagine a world where everyone does what they love to do and it all gets done with this love of doing it? As opposed to, I got to go to this place and do this thing with these people that I like them more than I liked them back in 2019, but I don't really like them. They're not my tribe. And so this ability to shift our beliefs, and this is a place right now where we're at a big paradigm shift. So I'm going to use the drum to raise the vibe. I'm going to raise it from the norm 250 as high as I can get it. I'm on my way to 700 because 700 is love. So if every day you spend some time raising your own vibrational frequency, and this is a belief, by the way, and there are bazillions of them, but when they don't serve you, and I want to talk about this after I drum, but when they don't serve you, there's a whole thing that you can do to change your belief. Because when you change your belief, you change your reality. And so let me grab my drum. All right, and if you've got a drum, you can drum along. Oh, a little cold. So we'll warm it up. And as you're drumming, as you're listening, as you're breathing this in, begin to think about one thing that you don't have, that you desire. And conjure up, imagine a picture of this thing, whether it's an object or a person or a feeling. Begin to imagine that. Pardon me. Begin to imagine that. And see it in your mind's eye. And now with that inner vision, connect that with your heart. What does that feel like? Does it make your heart sing? And then, with that acknowledgement, yes, that makes my heart sing, or no, it doesn't. If it's not that, find something else. If it makes your heart sing, then imagine embracing that something that you want, whether it's a job or a car or a relationship or an achievement or a vacation, and feel the doing of that. Feel going down the water slide. Feel playing tennis. Feel snuggling up. Inhale that new car smell. Now take a moment. I'm going to raise the vibe and you write down your desire and the feeling and whether it made your heart sing or not. And I'm going to raise the vibe. All right. So now you've had an experience, because shamanism is experiential. It is a physical thing. When we encounter a challenge, when we encounter a desire, we actually physically do things. We go into ceremony, we drum, we smudge, we rattle, and we get every cell of our body vibrating on that same frequency. And when you do that, you know, when you're vibing on that frequency is attracted to you. And then it's the constant, steady repeating of that. It's not a clutching or I wish, I wish, I wish. It's an actual thing that you do. Like, for instance, you know, if you have something that you want and you don't have a drum, you can make a rattle. And every day, just for a few minutes, just use that rattle, focused on what it is you desire, the feeling of it, the feeling of it, the feeling of it, the feeling of it. Yes, that feeling of it will do this thing where it will magnetize to you. Magnetize to you. Likes attract like, and it will magnetize it to you. And there's this idea about letting it go. Absolutely. Now that, you'll notice, is kind of a masculine way of being. Okay, well, I did the work, now I'm going to let it go. But women, the feminine principle is to tend to it. So the letting go, you can let it go, that's beautiful, but tend to it. Every day, focus your attention on the feeling of the achievement, the feeling of the desire being actualized. And you're building a belief here. And it kind of snuck it in. But the belief that you're building is you're building a belief in your ability to, first of all, resonate in the same frequency as your desire. You know, there was a 1948, I think it was a Ford truck with bumpers. Oh, I just adored that. Now, there's that frequency, and then there's Tesla, right? So the frequencies of those two vehicles, they're vehicles, four wheels, get me where I'm going. The frequency is different. That one is not better than the other. The frequency is just different. And so your desire vibrates, it's the wrong word, vibrates at a frequency out there that you want to be on. And if you look around, and this desire to go back to normal is to ask all of us to go back to sleep. It's to ask all of us to just comply. It's to ask all of us to, you know, there were 63% of the American population does not like their job, and they go. So think about that energy. You go to work, you don't like it, you're with people you're not really loving and bonding with, you have a grouchy drive home, and you take that energy home with you. So this angst about survival that has gone on for, you know, a few thousand years now, the underpinning of it is cracking. And so we have the opportunity to create a brand new belief system that is community, connection, communication, and cooperation. And so when we look at our beliefs and we ask, do they serve me? If the answer is yes, that's a great one to keep. If the answer is no, then you get to look at that belief. And perhaps it would serve you to change the belief. And so if you're interested in this, I have a PDF. It's called Bust Your Bogus Beliefs. And it shows you how to do that, how to bust that belief. It's a, I think, 4-step process, because you want to source it. You want to, first of all, identify it. If it's serving you, good on you. If it's not, then you want to source it. You want to return it to source. You want to cut the cord, and you want to write a new belief. So if you're interested, I have a PDF that takes you right through that, and I would love to give that to you. So also have a look at your beliefs, and because this is a thing that we don't often think about. We are busy doing and doing and doing, but we don't think about, why am I doing this? You know, how does this benefit? Is this part of who I am? Is this part of what I want? but we just get trapped in the idea that there's a way of being, and you've got to be in that way of being, the way of doing, as opposed to be in the way of being. And there is a way that you indeed can have both. You can have a way of being and a way of doing that are hooked up. And the way that you do it is by examining your beliefs. So I'm just going to drum for a little minute, and I'm going to raise the vibe. So let me know, put beliefs in the comments, and I'll send you the PDF. All right, here we go. Raising the vibe. Okay, bringing it home. Beautiful. All right. So one last thing before I let you go. It's important to give so that you can accept and so that you can receive. So the way that I ended my drumming every time was to open fully to give, accept, and receive all that the universe has for me. So let's just do that. Make sure you have enough space, that you're not going to knock your tea over. All right, energize your hands. Turn your palms towards your face. Hook your thumbs. Touch yourself. Nice. Okay. Take a nice deep breath. Watch your chest come up. And now I open fully to give. Give it away, give it away, give it away. Accept and receive all that the universe has for me. One more time. I open fully to give, accept, and receive all that the universe has for me. One last time. I open fully to give, accept, and receive all that the universe has for me. So thank you. Review your beliefs and go deep with this. Just take a moment, and if you do something by rote, if it's just a habit, begin to question that. What's that all about? And no berating, just investigate. So, all right, thanks for being here, and blessings on your day. Bye-bye, everyone.